Oh yeah, I didn't tell you when TU6 is coming out. That seems like a bit of an oversight. You can expect TU6 in October. That's next month. Right now it's September, so I don't know when. I legit don't know when in October, so I can speculate with the rest of you. Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Game number 132. We now have a fancy intro. There it is. Teething issues and all that. But it's important that we front load as much of the key information at the front of the stream. We know there are people here who maybe aren't as interested in... Oh, I feel bad. Nikki, they're probably not as interested in what you have to say. Yeah. Wow, super rude. Well, why would you leave? No, but it is important that we get the critical information out of the way. So, some things have been fixed in the past few weeks. You may have noticed the raid issues that were including things like the raid resetting when the leader would leave the group. That's been fixed. There's still audio issues that are being fixed. There may be some that are sticking around. We're still doing work on those. The issues with collectibles and classified assignments are fixed. There are some known issues that we are still currently working on though. So new things have been added to our known issues thread on the forums, which you can check out. It's in the same place that it has always been. If you seen something that isn't on that list that you do know that you are experiencing, please do let us know. But we want to make sure that is up to date as possible. So there will be a link in chat. I'm sure that our mods will post for you if you ask kindly. There's also been a lot of discussion. I've seen some threads about the Shepherd system. We hear you, and there will be some changes coming to that, which we will talk, probably not today, but in the coming weeks, and you'll experience some changes on the PTS to that system. Spoilers, there's going to be a PTS. Yay, everyone's clapping everywhere around. Thank you. Thank you. But the PTS will be coming, we're not exactly sure on what day, but it will be very, very soon. So in the coming days, we'll have more information about when that is coming, because TU6 will go live next month. And we need to make sure that we get all of the valid testing in before that happens. We will be talking over this week, next week, the week after that, about things that will go into the PTS. And some of those you will experience as the PTS is up before we talk about them. So you'll experience some things on your own. We're going to talk about some of the things today that are very critical for the PTS. And we've heard your feedback about future content being spoiled on the PTS missions and things like that. So those narrative pieces of content will not be on the PTS phases this time around, which I think is fantastic news. Anyway, that's going to be everything you need to know in terms of priority alerts this week. Let's go. Hi, Nikki. Who are you and what do you do here on the team at Massive?
My name is Nikki. I'm a senior game designer on the economy and progression team for the Division 2. So I work with stuff like loot and like with a focus on how you acquire that.
What is the critical biggest change you've been working on in terms of the next update?
Personally, I've been working on a new loot feature, which we're gonna dive into in a bit.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get to that, because we do have a bit to get to before we get there, what can you tell us about the brand sets? Because there's some changes there that I think we need to go through.
Yeah, we made sure that all of the brands now have items in all of the slots. So you no longer need to have like these particular brands for these slots and these particular brands for those slots. So that will make it easier to just like make different builds because you have more flexibility in terms of combining items. And it's also should make things more clear.
Yeah.
Because now we don't really tell you which brands have which slots. So it's kind of like you could be hunting for an item that actually does not exist.
Yeah. Like I think things like the Araldi chess piece doesn't exist, for example, if I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist. And like there's no way to tell.
No,
that
exactly.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? So you could be hunting like, I need one more for the brand set thing, and I want it to be in this slot, but that slot might never.
Yeah. So it's both for clarity's sake, but also for flexibility's sake. So all of the brands will have this, except for the 511, because that's like a real world brand, and they only make a certain type of things.
Okay.
So we only have those types of things. Yeah.
Okay. But that's, I mean, it sounds, at least the way you say it, it sounds like a casual change, but that's a big change.
It's pretty big, yeah.
And I know that you're not necessarily working on the side for how that works in terms of balance and the way that gear works, and you're, like you say, the delivery guy. But I imagine that's going to have big implications for the way that people build their characters.
Yeah, but I think that's like kind of a main point for TU6 in general, that we know that it is, it takes a long time to get to what you want to build. So even if you just focus on one build, it takes a lot of playtime, there's a lot of restrictions, And I think for TU6, we're like focusing on that to make it more fun to put a build together, so you can also enjoy making several builds if you get there.
Yeah.
So.
Gear sets. What's happening there?
For gear sets, we're making sure that you only need 4 items to make the set complete, so to unlock all of the bonus from the gear set. So again, it takes fewer items to put something together.
So that frees up 2 slots as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you can combine it more with other high-end items or even an exotic. So it doesn't take all of your slots to put it together, and it's just easier to get started with a gear set. We're also making the chest and the backpack a little bit more powerful by adding a high-end talent that usually rolls on those slots.
Okay. Is that just for the raid ones, or is that for all gear sets?
That's for all of the gear sets.
Okay.
Yeah. But we do want to make the raid gear sets widely available to everyone so that they can play with those and put them together. But the backpack and the chest will still remain exclusive to the raid. So you can get 4 items to get the previously raid exclusive gear sets and try them out. But if you want more powerful versions of them, then you would still need to play the raid to get those particular 2 items for each gear set.
Okay. Yeah. So the backpack and, just to reiterate, so the backpack and the chest piece of the raid gear sets will drop outside of the raid, or they won't. Will they drop outside of the raid without a talent, or they won't drop at all?
They won't drop at all. Like all of the items are the same.
Yeah.
You can get the chest and the backpack from all the other gear sets just anywhere. Okay. And all of them have talents on them. But the raids, the ones that were previously raid exclusive, are still raid exclusive, but it only applies to the chest and the backpack now.
Okay. So, a lot of loot. A lot of loot changes, a lot of...
More loot.
More
cool
loot,
stuff.
Get a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
How are you going to make sure that people have a way to get that loot? I mean, I know the answer, but this is my segue.
Yeah. Good segue.
Thank you.
Well, this is the big thing that I've been working on. And we know that the loot pools are pretty big, and there's now even more stuff in the loot pools for you to get. And we know that it is hard to focus on a particular thing that you want.
Sure.
So we now have a new system that allows you to, by choice, kind of narrow those loot pools to what you are looking for. More specifically, that means that all of the main missions and all of the name zones have a certain type of loot associated with them for a certain period of time. And the loot pools that we have that are like smaller and that you can target are all of the different weapon types. So you can go and look for an assault rifle or an SMG and so on. All of the gear slots and all of the gear brands. The 2 different types of mods, so skill mods and gear mods, and possibly the gear sets.
Okay.
And that is distributed across all of the missions and name zones that we have for a day, and then every day it's new, so that you're not grinding the same thing over and over if you do not happen to get that particular item that you're looking for the first day.
Yeah, so, like if you had an AR that was only available in that mission and was only ever available in that mission, that might get kind of old. Yeah. I guess like the Lexington grind for Barrett's chest piece. That's when...
Exactly.
We don't want that to happen.
No, it's kind of that, but dynamic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Hard to visualize. Good thing we have a video.
Yeah.
We might have to play this through a couple of times because there might be some things that you miss on the first time we watch it. But let's take a look at this because it's pretty cool looking.
So once you reach World Tier 5, this is only active in World Tier 5, you have this button in the bottom of the screen, D-pad up, to switch to this type of loot view. And it shows you like where all of the different things are for this period of time.
Okay.
So the name zones, those are the big icons, and then the main missions are the smaller icons. So you have an immediate overview of where everything is. But also, regardless whether you turn this view on or not, we always show you in the mission details and in the name zone details what is the specific loot for that day in that area.
Yeah, so this is just want to reiterate, this is a work in progress build. There will be changes to the UI over time and about how those things are clearly put forth to the player. What you probably missed at the start there was the down on the bottom right of the map,
Yeah.
there's the show targeted loot thing. And that's where, you have the button press, or it'll be something different on
Yeah.
PC. But can we just take a look at it one more time so people can get a look at that? Because there's a different, more sense for you. So you can see the show targeted loot down on the bottom right. We press that, and then we come up to this view. That's pretty cool. I did ask you this before, and you actually mentioned it earlier in the stream.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have a situation where there are more loot pools than there are zones, right? So there will be some. If you're looking for something, it will be on the map somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have more missions and name zones than there are smaller loot pools.
Okay.
So you will only get duplicates and never miss anything. So every day there will be something for you to do to target the specific thing that you want.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So we also have another quick little video about what that looks like, because we don't want people to miss when those drops happen. So this is what it will look like if you are in a main mission, because there's some UI changes that we can take a look at.
Yeah. So these drops can happen, like it shows you here in the mission
targeted
as well
loot
as a
thing.
reminder, and then these drops happen on top of the other drops. So if an NPC already dropped something, then you have a chance to also get this item, and if that happens, we will show you in the loot pile, like, hey, this was the thing you were looking for, by showing you the same icon that you see on the mega map.
That's cool.
And in the other locations.
So hopefully you don't miss it. I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, and also knowing that this is there, you should probably check your loot piles in general.
That seems like a pretty good piece of advice. So for the dark zone, are there any differences there?
So we treat the dark zones basically as name zones. So containers are included, and enemies are included. Bosses will give you guaranteed drops, but all of them will be contaminated. So you will still need to go and extract them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's the dark zone for you.
well, yeah, and now that if you're there to target this specific type of loot, and other players are walking around and you see their nice yellow bag,
They probably
they
have some too.
might have some stuff that you're looking for. Yeah.
Cool. Just while we're on the topic of the dark zone, we'll be talking about the dark zone and PvP next week. We know that there are a lot of changes that need to happen to both of those things. So I don't know what they are, but there are people that do. So they'll be talking about that next week. Is that kind of the big? Are we wrapped up on that in terms of the loot delivery system?
I think so.
Pretty
Yeah.
much it, right?
It's gonna be on the PTS for sure. So try it out, and I want to know how it feels, and give feedback, and yeah.
Please.
So.
There's a lot to talk about with recalibration, because that's your baby, pretty much.
It was my baby in Division 1. It's more now Rasmus's baby.
He adopted it.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Rude. Rude that you would abandon your baby to Rasmus.
But it makes sense, because he also does crafting, so it's like a good combination of things. But
But you guys share an office, so you know about a lot about this stuff.
Yeah, I know about it, and I synced with Rasmus beforehand, so
Cool.
I have a list of things.
Perfect. All right,
So-
let's start from the top. What are the biggest changes to recalibration this time around?
For recalibration, the biggest change is actually, well, I'm not sure if it's the biggest change. The biggest in-your-face change is that it has a completely new UI.
Okay.
So the previous UI would let you pick an item to recalibrate, and then pick an item you want a stat from, and then pick that stat. We're now doing it the other way around, where if you pick an item to recalibrate, and you pick what you want to recalibrate there, you get a list of what are the things that you can put on there.
Okay.
And then once you go through that list, looking at all the values that we'll sort for you, so you can see what's the highest and so on. Once you highlight those, you can see, of course, still what item it will sacrifice to do that recalibration.
Okay. So you don't need to go through each item individually to check,
Exactly,
like, is
yeah.
this better, is this better, is this better?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I think that's a big change. Well, it's definitely a big quality of life change.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily change the end result, because you still had access to all of that in the current version of the game.
Yeah.
But at least
It gives you a better overview of what's actually available to you, and comparing values gets a lot easier. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the other changes to Recal?
We're going to allow you to swap stats from different colors, from different types. So you can
That's big.
swap out. That's pretty big, yeah. And that's again like kind of in line of allowing you to be more flexible with your builds. Because it doesn't only allow you to put a certain stat on a thing that otherwise could not do that, but you can also use it to activate talents, because you're just missing this one number on your red stats or whatever. So you can do that swap both for the stats sake and for talent activation sake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mentioned earlier that there's a lot of changes to all the brand sets and stuff that are going to, and gear sets, because now there's the 4-piece thing and all of that. This kind of adds another layer of build diversity, I'd say.
Yeah,
complexity
definitely.
maybe, but like there's a lot of potential ways that you can push your build around now. Go a bit deeper into the glass cannon path, or like, oh, okay, that's a lot. Cool. Yeah, that's really cool. What other changes are coming?
Well, kind of in the same line of that, there's some restrictions on what talents can roll on certain items, but through recalibration, we want to make that more flexible. So if you want to move over a talent that usually doesn't roll on an item you want to recalibrate, you can now do that. So that doesn't mean like in terms of types of talents, but for example, if there was a backpack that didn't have this one talent like naturally out in the wild. But it was on another backpack. Yeah, but it is on another backpack, you can still like move it over.
Okay. Yeah. But you couldn't take a chest piece specific talent and put it on your knee pads?
No.
If it doesn't exist on the knee pad pool of talents?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, that's big too.
Yeah.
Are there any other things to recalibration?
None on my list for now, no. We are still looking into also letting you change the color or type of your mod slots. So that opens up another area of like changing to...
Okay, but no decision on that one yet?
Not yet, we're looking into it, if we can do it, and how we want to do it.
Okay, cool. Maybe for the future, maybe not for TU6, but something, I mean, if you have feedback on that, that's always cool. So crafting and recal kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Right? What are some of the changes to crafting in TU6?
So for this, I actually have to look at my list because it's a lot. We're raising the material caps, so you'll be able to carry more materials. I don't know the exact numbers from the top of my head. It also depends a little bit on the type of material. So the common materials will grow more, and the more rare materials will stay a little bit lower. We're going to bring back the material sharing perk. I think we had it on the PTS at some point.
Yeah, we didn't end up putting it in TU5.
Exactly. So if you decide to purchase that perk, then all of your materials will be shared across your characters.
Okay.
We're going to give you more materials from NPC drops. So the drops that are already happening will just have like more materials in each drop. And when you're full on them, we're going to stop dropping them, because you get a lot of these, loot piles lying around that you cannot actually pick up. So we're just going to not drop it for you.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Also, we wanted to really improve the scavenging experience when it comes to materials, because it's if you want to farm a specific material and you know which faction drops that material, you go play those missions with those factions in them. But if you want to just go out and explore, the scavenging material containers had one of two materials. So if you're looking for a particular one and you open a crate and it's the other one, it's kind of disappointing. So we're now making it so that you get both of these materials. So if you want to go and actually farm these materials through scavenging, that is more reliable now.
Okay.
We're also giving a chance of getting polycarbonate from deconstruction.
Handy.
Very. And then when it comes to crafting itself, so this has all been like acquisition kind of thing. When it comes to crafting itself, we're gonna lower the cost of crafting when it comes to the like kind of gray common materials and also the brand materials.
Okay.
And also now with the loot rotation system, you can of course more easily target specific brands. So even if you get items that are of that brand but not exactly what you want, deconstructing those will help you craft new ones because you'll get the brand materials from those. And then another cool thing is that we've gotten a lot of questions about, I see that there are this many blueprints that I do not have. Where are they? I've done all the things. Where are my blueprints? So we're going to show you for the missing blueprints, once you're in endgame, where those blueprints come from. Cool. So which ones there are still there and what you need to do like generally to acquire them.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, because I know in previous State of the Games we talked about putting together a list of all the blueprints and where you get them from. Now we don't have to because that's going to be
in the game. It's in the game. Yeah,
Right.
It's at the crafting bench in your collection basically, and then you can see like, hey, these are still there, and I need to go do this to get them.
That's really nice. That's
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, when you kind of take into account all the changes to crafting and recal, like just those two things are really big. But then how that plays into the rest of the gear game, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because now you want to craft to get this talent on this thing, so you can recal it over here and okay.
It's
lots to do.
It's a puzzle.
It's a big puzzle.
It's, for us and for players
Yeah.
to all get this in the right spot.
It's a million-piece puzzle.
Yeah.
That's going to be all for today. We're going to leave you with some of the Division 2 photos. If you want to get involved in this as well, use hashtag the Division 2 photos on Twitter, and we will see you again next week. All right, everyone. Bye.